Hello, hello. All right, so welcome back. So, Leos, this is going to be a story where I did a pre shuffle for you guys out of our constellation deck. And that's because I wanted to stick with constellations and mythology this week. And Leos, you got Hydra. And so, Hydra is mostly seen in the southern hemisphere, and it's oftentimes depicted more as a dragon than a serpent. But in different mythological tales, Hydra was the great multi-headed serpent that Hercules has to slay as part of his 12 tasks. And every time that he would cut one head, two more would spring forth. So eventually he dispatches it using fire. Now, I would use this as like a metaphor for saying something that can be overwhelming and um, even like a this would be the big negative, the big thing that gets in our way. In another story, Crow argues that Hydra got in the way of him doing bidding for Apollo. So, Hydra slows things down. It creates obstacles. It, as we try to fix one thing, more things pop up that are scary or, a disaster of sorts. So this can be something that really plays a big role in bogging things down. This could be a metaphor for fear. What bogs us down most in life? Fear. And then when we start to like overthink one area, we can like have grow more worries about fear. Now it grows two heads. So that's the way I would look at this for starters. But one other thing I wanted to mention is that within this constellation, it has one of the greatest concentration of like other galaxies. There's 20. There's a cluster of 20 galaxies that are all held together by a gravitational pull found within this area. And also in this direction, we find what's called the Great Attractor, which is a mass that, astrophysicists have recognized as like this big pull. We can't really see it, but we know it has this impact and it's pulling on our universe. So kind of some interesting stuff here too. So that just goes to say, wherever this message is going to take us, we are starting out with something that has a powerful, we could say it has a powerful impact, whether that's going to be negative or whether that's going to be positive. It depends on how we see things, right? We can either look at a powerful moment or a powerful situation in Leo's life as like, wow, it stresses me out so much. More stress keeps growing. It's bogging me down. Or it can be filled with all these other amazing galaxies and this wonderful, like, energetic pull that has the power to shift something in Leo's life. So, how do we want to see this? Well, first, let's talk about what is this thing in Leo's life? Because it's probably not a giant serpent in the sky. It's something more tangible. We have a Five of Cups in the reverse. This is a situation where there have been a lot of grief, a lot of sensation of loss. Ooh, Ace of Cups. I feel like whatever the scenario was, Leo had to find a way to love themselves again. So sometimes when we experience great loss, great disappointment, that is when we are forced to or get to shift our energies to focus more on ourself. And I think Leo was able to do that. So instead of it becoming Hydra, the great monster, we're going to look at it as Hydra, the constellation that contains so much powerful potential, which is terrific. But I will say, we need to recognize first that Leo went through something probably fairly devastating, and they've come out the other side of that. Ten of Wands, yeah, they are laying down all of the heavier energies. And then we have the Hanged Man, which is, we do still have a bit of a bog down. Okay. Hanged Man is pausing, or even though Leo's done a lot of work on themselves, they've gotten over whatever a really big sorrow was. Could have been a big betrayal. It was an emotional hit. But our character said, you know what? I need to work through this and I need to love myself more. That's going to be the way I work through this. That's going to be how I get myself to the other side of this. And the more they did this, they laid down burdens. And at this point, they're at the Ten of Wands. So the burden is gone, but they still haven't taken this leap forward into whatever is next in their life. Why have they not quite taken this leap forward? I feel like we're talking about a Leo who healed from a tremendous wound, and they know that they've healed, but now we have the Four of Cups. Even though they've healed, there's still this there's an illusion here, or there's a disappointment here that still exists. That Four of Cups is what's bogging them down a little bit. Okay, so let's take another look. Let's change decks. Tell me more. Why do they feel some missed opportunity? Ace of Cups in the reverse. They feel it for the other person. Okay, so Leo actually is being burdened not by their own grief, but by the disappointment that they feel that someone else missed out on a chance to be with Leo. It's like everything we could have had. Oh, that line from Kate Bush's song, "This Woman's Work." She says, "All the things we could have done, but we never did, and all the things we could have said, but we never said." I feel like Leo is bogged down just a little bit. They can't fully release this because they keep feeling like it's sad that someone couldn't give their love. Maybe Leo sees a person as having been very blocked emotionally. They just couldn't open up their heart. Maybe Leo says, I thought they did love me, but man, they just couldn't show it. Or they could have loved me, but they didn't see themselves as good enough. They didn't love themselves enough first to be able to then just be in a happy relationship. It feels like Leo is feeling bad for somebody else. And unfortunately, that is bogging down their progress. Let me just see. We got the Moon sideways and we got the Page of Pentacles sideways. Leo does not know that they're doing this because it's not intentional. There's a little piece of them that they consciously think about this from time to time, but I just don't think they're realizing what kind of an impact it really has on them. Let's change decks again and ask, universe, tell us what's the message here for our Leo, because they've got so much to look forward to, but they are slowing down their own progress just a smidge here. Queen of Sacred Circles, Princess of Sacred Circles. So for Leo to put this little bit of disappointment, I'll say, to rest, it's to reflect more on, so in their own lifespan, we're born as little babies and then we got all this time to learn stuff. And as we learn, we gain wisdom and we grow and we learn about ourselves and we learn about others. And so to be sad for someone else that they didn't love themselves enough to be able to be with Leo, this almost says, Leo, don't feel bad for them. They have many years left, as do you. Doesn't matter what age you are. You're still here. You're still kicking. That means you got lots of time left to still learn stuff. And so does that other person. We all have the same capacity to learn things, but to understand that everyone has to learn things in different at different levels. Now, to turn this energy away from them feeling disappointed for that person who couldn't seem to love themselves enough to then give to a connection with Leo, this says, but Leo, maybe this is also a lesson for the Leo. Maybe they are starting with some new piece of information. So it would be better for them to not think about that character that couldn't love them or couldn't love themselves, but instead for Leo to focus solely on, what did I learn out of this? Because this is a new piece of information for me to assimilate. So all of a sudden, Leo takes the disappointment that they were feeling for that other person that was actually bogging them down, and they turn it into a positive for themselves. Wait a minute. Maybe it was me who learned a lesson. So what did I learn? This says, you notice how we have a baby again. It's like sometimes no matter how wise we think we are, we can still reflect and learn something from an experience that we just went through. And so it's like, oh, well, this is interesting. So now that I know this, I have this new tangible piece of information. Well, shoot, this was well worth it. I learned how to move on from something. I learned how to let go of something. That was a lesson for me. Maybe it was a lesson for them as well, but I'm just going to say I got a lesson out of it. I learned how to let go, and that's huge. I think focusing more on oneself is what the encouragement is for this Leo, so they stop thinking too much about how sad it is that that other person just couldn't love themselves enough to be with Leo. They've healed from the pain of it, and now I think they're releasing this entire situation. Let's see. Universe, what comes next for the Leo? I knew it. I knew we were going to get this strength card. I had it in my head. I was picturing this strength card coming out. This is Leo in their greatest energy. And forgive me, the way I'm holding this is because she doesn't have a top on, which to me is symbolic because it's like I'm bare chested, I wear my heart external, I don't have anything to hide, I'm completely comfortable being me. And of course, because this is Leo's own energy, Leo has calmed their inner beast. Leo is very in touch and in tune with themselves. They're proud of themselves and they're unashamed. This is somebody who's going to be very, very, very ready to open up their heart to somebody new, to be in a romance, to meet someone and just see where things go because they're no longer in this entrapped energy or melancholy or still thinking about someone else. They're very much present in their own lives now. Nine of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. Our Leo has got something fabulous to do. I'm going to say some task or something that they've wanted to do for a really long time. They're ready to turn their attention to it. This could be a work related goal or something that they really, really have wanted to pursue for themselves. Whatever this is, they're all about it now. This is what they've wanted to focus on for quite some time, and they're very much ready to do it. It's going to open up new doorways for this Leo, but I think it starts out as like whatever they'd put off when they were dealing with this whole situation of releasing, letting go, and healing. They put off some other really important task, something that is probably there. It's a talent that Leo has. It's something that they're really good at, but they hadn't applied it yet and turned it into like a newfound skill that is going to open up doors for them. This is like a gateway that they're about to walk through. Now, certainly this Leo could get really interested in some other hobby, some other skill set, and that could lead them down this road of also meeting someone new. We have Temperance is going to start to feel really good. Whatever this new level of life is for the Leo, it feels really balanced. But it's funny because Leo is still blocking all things regarding love. And I say that just because we have the heart down here with that 10 of Wands, and this is that 2 of Swords. The last thing on their mind right now is love. This is a Leo who's just kind of like turning their attention back to their own stuff. They're getting all interested in their work or their hobby or their side hustle, something they've wanted to do for a while, but it was kind of put on the back burner. As they get more invested in it, their whole life starts to change because of the energy that they're putting out there, and they're feeling really good, but they're absolutely blocking their heart off to any kind of romance only because they don't see it. I don't think that they're like, oh, I'm still wounded. No, they're just like, they might have even said, you know what, after this experience, I'm realizing I don't even know how I feel about love. Love's not really on my radar. It's not that they're tarnished, it's not that they're upset, but they are not in the headspace of romance at all in this storyline. Instead, they're just really at peace. But of course, we got to take a look at that Temperance card because Temperance is there for a reason. Yeah, I figured Page of Cups, when a character is completely comfortable in their own world, they're not thinking about love and romance, they're not pining for exes, they're not missing anyone, and they're really making progress in their own life and new doors are opening. Anytime we're in that awesome energy where things are kind of new and we're open to the new, it means new people are going to arrive also. New energies are going to arrive. And because Leo's in such a contented vibe in this story now, I'm not at all shocked to see that we may have someone who's starting to fall for Leo, somebody who might want to ask Leo out. This is a new little love. This is something that comes out of nowhere. This Leo could be kind of like, oh, what's that saying? Stay wild, moonchild. You know, I feel like Leo's got a little bit of a wild energy to them. They may be very like more natural. They might be really someone who's just kind of, they don't really care that much about, you know, certain styles, but that in and of itself is why they stand out in a crowd. They have their own look, they have their own fashion sense, they have, and it may always be something that looks a little bit wild. Um, Once again, we've got a Queen of Pentacles, but we also got the Empress, and we got this 3 of Cups. I gotta say, to me, this looks like we could have a Sagittarius who is quite enamored with our Leo. They see this Leo as calm, practical, someone who is very grounded, but they also see this Leo as someone who's a real catch, someone who's a cut above the rest. And in both of these cases, don't we see how unconcerned Leo appears? I think whomever this character is who's starting to fall for Leo, I don't think Leo has paid any attention to them whatsoever. Whatsoever. It does feel like it's a brand new person in Leo's life, but Leo is not looking their direction, which I think is making this person kind of like admire them even more. Leo's not doing anything to gain attention or, like start a flirtation. Leo's not in any energy of like desperate to meet someone, desperate to be with someone. They're very, very focused on their own life instead. But it's funny because I feel like this person's going to integrate themselves right into Leo's life and it's going to be joyful. And even if they already have a lot of emotion for Leo, they're not instantly trying to date the Leo either. They want to be friends. They want to be a part of Leo's world because Leo's world looks really damn good, looks really positive, looks really happy. So they may be stepping into Leo's life as a friend, as a new energy of like, oh, this is so fun, let's hang out together, let's do some stuff together. The thing is, if they ever get around to asking Leo to be more than that, I don't know that Leo's open to it yet. This feels like Leo is still on a bit of a journey where they want to just do their own thing for a little bit. Friends are okay, but as it comes to romance, they're a little bit aloof because I think they're whatever energy. Oh my God, serious. We got the Hierophant sideways here, and this is a very spiritual Hierophant card. We have a question that's being posed here for our Leo, and it is this new person who likes the Leo, admires the Leo, cares about the Leo for all the right reasons, wants to be around the Leo, is this new person someone that the Leo is just like, that's great, that's nice that they like me, but I'm not ready for some kind of romance. I'm really just wanting to keep walking my own way? Or is this person someone who is on the Leo's path? Leo has met them because in truth, this is like a divinely guided, this is the person that's right for them. This is the person that their higher self has actually been looking for, but they couldn't find this person by looking for them directly. It had to be, Leo had to be their most authentic self and be doing their own thing before they could meet this person. That's where the question is. And I think Leo even knows that it's a question like, wow, there's this amazing new person, starts out as a friend. And Leo may have the sense that they're interested in them, but Leo doesn't quite know what to do. There's a part of them that says, I wasn't looking for romance. But then they question like, wait a second, but I met them. Was that because my higher self guided me here? So Leo themselves seems to be in a bit of a conundrum, not really sure. Let's go back to the universe. Universe, can you tell our Leo about this person that is very much new? Got the Ten of Swords, we've got the Queen of Cups. The universe says Leo is ready to share their energy with someone. They did end something completely. An old chapter of their life is done, and they have transformed themselves. They have a ton to give. One of the reasons they're having so much more happiness is because they've been doing something that's true for themselves. They really, truly let go of that person of the past. They've been enjoying their life. But what the Leo hasn't realized is they have changed at like a fundamental level. They're in a very good space. They're in a very loving space. They love their life, and that's what they've been pouring their energy into. But in fact, it almost looks like this Leo would gain more for having another person to give their love to. And if we have somebody coming in who's as healthy as this new person looks, someone who admires this Leo the way it looks like they do, they see this Leo as an empress, they see this Leo as somebody, they love the Leo exactly as the Leo is. It would almost seem like it's a shame for the Leo to insist, but I wasn't thinking about romance, so it couldn't be a romantic partner available to me. The universe says, well, darling, it might be the exact right time for an easy but fulfilling, really loving romance. So it's only if Leo wants it, of course, but it does look like, believe it or not, Leo is ready for that. They just didn't realize it. All right, I'm going to leave that one there. Thanks so much for being here. Bye, guys.